Relax and get loose while I put you up on game. The Figure Booth with Josh and Nate. This that podcast for those in the know. Batman vs. Iron Man, how would it go? We talking one of a kind, collectibles. Mezco toys are respectable. It's unacceptable if it's not in the packaging. Nate don't take pics if you ain't rapping it. Nate's dirty tricks are always happening, but damn it, man, don't you be stressing. Round here we believe in plastic confessions. We trying to figure out the figures that's gonna stand the test of time. That G.I. Joe handmade hit me in the spine. There's perfection in the way that these toys are made, but I also wanna know, do I pick Wade or Slade? So this is where I come to kick it with the guys. The Figure Booth. Like, comment, and subscribe.
And welcome, Toy Fam. You have made it to the Figure Booth channel, here where we talk about the ups and downs of the modern day collector. We go over pre-orders. We talk about our weekly hauls. We call them Plastic Confessions. I am your host, Josh, aka Prime to the First. I'm joined by my friend and co-host, Nate.
Hey guys, this is Nate, aka FigureFan_Nate, and you've reached episode 65, which we're calling "What is Your Net Worth?"
How much are you worth?
Yeah,
You're
right.
worth dime a dozen, Nate?
Tell me your value so I can come rob you.
Are you a diamond in the sky? You shine bright like a diamond?
I mean, I want to say that I think I do, but in reality, I really don't.
You're probably just like a bootleg version?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I put myself really, way up here. So I think I got the
and then I come by and I
self-esteem.
kick the pedestal off.
Yeah, and then somebody's like, hey, you're actually like
Way down here.
way down here.
Way
Okay.
down.
You've really dropped. But yeah, not your overall net worth, but really like your collection net worth, and not just talking about like the value of your collection. Like, hey, what's all your collection worth? We're not talking about that.
Yeah.
Talking about like your personal intrinsic value.
Yeah.
And what is it worth to you?
And it's kind of like, we were thinking about this idea of coming up with one. We always try to come up with topics that will kind of hit you guys and knock you back on your seat, get you all relax and loose and just kind of think about it, let it marinate. So a lot of the times, specifically this term or this topic, net worth, we're coming from a perspective of looking at the collection right now. What time of the season are we going into, and really what season are you in? So from my observation, what I've kind of noticed is there is still a lot of constant posting of, epic hauls or massive army building, which is fantastic. It's consistent. There's those in the toy community who are always like just dropping massive hauls.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know the other side to it, but it's just a bunch of massive hauls. And I think it's almost difficult to say for the average collector or the normal collector, but just the collector. Maybe you just started out, or maybe you've been around for a while, but you don't flex as much because you just can't flex as much. You have, XYZ responsibilities, or your situation's different. A lot of times that affects your net worth in a mental state. And I think that we're going to take that stance from it. Like, what is your net worth from a mental state? And in this type of season, we're going into the holidays. Sometimes this time of the year is really, really difficult for a lot of people. Whether it's just getting together with your family is challenging because maybe they live in different areas, or just getting together with your family period is challenging because you guys are like oil and water and don't mix well. But hey, you can't pick your friends, but you can pick your family, or you can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. It's challenging. So as we get closer to the holidays, we got Halloween coming up, we got Thanksgiving coming up, Christmas, and there's a lot of great stuff that happens in the toy community, and a lot of us come together and we do Toy for Tots runs. We do, there's a lot of giving back to the community. But one thing that kind of sparked the theme behind this was a post that kind of caused a lot of, I don't know, what's the best word, ruckus. Everyone really, our feathers got ruffled.
Yeah.
What would you say?
A little bit of controversy.
A little controversy, and it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. And I for a minute there, I almost thought it was Toy Farce that had posted this. I had to double check and look for the meme or a guy, and I'm like, this is Toy Farce, right? This post isn't really legit, but it was
No way this can be real.
Hasbro posted they were gonna double their profits in the next 3 years by 50%.
50%.
And just I think the language on that post was very corporate, very board.
Yes.
It's something for a committee, for the board members. It was just like, we're gonna double our profits by 50%. This is how we're gonna do it, and yada yada. Just the minute I read that, I was like, I'm about to cancel everything. Like, I don't want anything to do with Hasbro. It just rubbed me the wrong way. And the comments proceeded to follow that same mentality, where everyone was just like, wait, what? Like, you see the prices going up on all sorts of goods, not only Hasbro, but all sorts of goods. You can go from gas to the price of milk, just inflation in general. It's the cost of living is super, super expensive, especially depending on where you live. It could be worse for you. So circling back to our theme and on our topic, what is your net worth? And really sticking to those goals that we've been talking about, like not letting FOMO get to you. Don't fall onto the hype train. When to sell and when not to sell. A lot of people right now, times get tough. We're all going to sell. I'm about to sell. And it's probably not a good time to sell. But you know what? I don't care. I just want to get rid of the stuff. And my loss is probably going to be your gain. But others, they may be looking to sell. I saw a post on one of the Facebook groups where the guy was selling because he needed to pay his like utility bills, or he needed to pay his rent. And he was just like, just give me whatever. And then it even got to the point where he was just even asking for money. And that type of stuff, like that sucks. Cause like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm just more empathetic, but I can empathize with somebody like that.
Yeah. The desperation starts to set in, like, I just need the money. Somebody please give me something.
Yeah.
I'll take a loss on this. And, you don't want to see people that are struggling like that and have to do that. But you do see it a lot around this time of the year, because people start to realize, it's holiday season. I've got, people don't think about it, but Halloween is even an expensive holiday, because you've got the candy you have to buy. If you're decorating your house, you're buying decorations, you're buying costumes for your kids and yourself. And then that just kind of starts the whole snowball of the holiday season. Then you move into, Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and you got deals all over the place. And then Christmas is right around the corner. And, it's just like nonstop. It's like we talked about last year. We call it the onslaught, but it's rearing its ugly head again. Yeah. And there's a lot of great things that Prime just said that I want to kind of like start pulling out. The big one really is that Hasbro post, right? Hasbro's talking about how they're going to double their profits, an extra 50% over the next, what was it, year or 2 years or 3 years, you said?
Yeah, 3 years, I think.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, and I think a lot of other people are like, how is that sustainable? Because we've already seen prices go up on Legends, on Black Series, on quote unquote deluxe figures.
Yeah.
It feels like maybe and this is a step in the right direction. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but the packaging, hopefully they're spending a little bit less on packaging because they're not using plastic. Right. It's great that it's for the environment, but man, it really rubs people the wrong way, especially at a time when you have an Engine of Vengeance HasLab going on that's $350 and people are pissed about the price. Yeah. I think the timing of that post was just really, really poor. Yeah. And it's not surprising that a company wants to get profits, but to put it out there so blatantly, in the face of your audience, it's like a slap in the face,
And who's to say that another company's going to follow? Because normally, if one starts doing it, the other, other competitors are like, oh, if they can raise their prices to $34.99, and we're still buying. A lot of us are still buying Legends. That Iron Man $44.99. I bought one, right? What's that not to stop Mattel or Jack Specific or even Toddy Mac to be like, why am I doing my figures that don't scale with anything? Why am I going to do them at $19.99? I'm going to do them $24.99. And all of a sudden you got this race to the top. So it's tough to see that things are going to get only more expensive. How do we stay afloat within the hobby? One other thing that kind of gave me a hint of like, hey, everyone's not, really doubling down on everything that all these toy companies are dropping. Was, for example, like Mezco. A lot of people give a ton of heat for Mezco because of the price have gone significantly up since when they first started. Their first couple Mezcos were like $85, $75. and now we're like in the 110. And a lot of us have kind of been accustomed to that. The latest Mezco that dropped was the 112 Gomez, the Union Gomez. It was $100. I was expecting 120 or 115. I saw 100, and I was like, huh, that's a pretty good deal. And that's crazy because usually I'm used to paying 85, but I've probably been so accustomed to spending no less than 120 for a Mezco that 100. I was like, okay, that's. And again, it's them slowly introducing these price hikes, and then you get accustomed to it. But at the same time, that 112 Gomez lasted for a really, really long time. I saw it, and almost out of spite, I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna get it. Like, I don't need another Gomez. I love the accessories, killer, awesome. I wish I could just buy those accessories, but I don't need another Gomez. I just want all the soft goods, but don't want. And it pissed me off. Like, I want to see my 10 or I don't know dozen pre-orders that I have with you guys. Give me that.
Yeah.
Don't give me another Gomez. Like, RumbleCon was awesome. Yes, I loved it. But where's my 89 Batman? Where's my Mr. Freeze? Constantine.
Right.
Like, the list goes on and on. Like, I'm still waiting on Mr. Freeze. Come on.
No, you make good points. It's like, it's you don't want to keep supporting these what you might think are bad habits from these companies. And, like Mezco owes a lot of people, a lot of figures. And I wish we could count, like, could we get a total count of how many figures they owe people? Because it's probably in the 10,000s or more,
It's crazy. And here's the thing. I was going to give in because I was like, I have all these goddamn points that I haven't used in, I don't know, like the last 3 years, 2 years. The first time I used the points was on Leatherface. Pretty much just paid shipping for Leatherface. So I still have like $100 in there. And I was like, cool, I'll pick up the 112 Union Gomez. Nope, can't use it on exclusives. What? You've been pumping out RumbleCon like it's your points. Why would I not be able to buy? Oh, that right there. And I already knew I couldn't spend, but I was like, hey, it's in stock or it's a pre-order. You're gonna ship it in, I don't know, in a year or two. That's fine, whatever. I've spent so much money. Why would you not allow me to use my points on an exclusive that it's still available? It's not like I'm trying to get something that's hot off the press. It's still available. I'm not gonna get it right away, but I'm okay with that. Nope. I got so pissed, and I'm like, everything that is in stock, it's not what I want. Like, dude, that pissed me off.
Yeah, that's been an ongoing thing that I've been pissed about. I've actually emailed Mezco like a few times, and still have not received really any response about why can I not use my reward points on an exclusive figure that is your own IP?
Yeah.
It's
that doesn't
because
make any sense.
I'm making assumptions, but I feel like they'd rather just realize real money. They just want real money. They don't want these point money because that's not actual profit for them.
Fuck your point money.
Yeah, like, screw the points, man. Give us real money. Exclusives, no, you can't do that. Yeah. And that's all they're dropping is exclusive.
Yeah, that's baloney.
The stuff that's in stock has been out for a long time, and maybe you might find something that you're like, oh, I never got that, and it's in stock. Cool, I'll grab it, because they did have some limited stuff that went up where you could use some points. But man, that just rubs me the wrong way. And the fact that you just said that just flipped the switch. I'm like, yep, that really kills me, not being able to use those points. So it's just stuff like that where there's really no good explanation as to why. Right now is the time where I think a lot of people wish they could use the points. It's like, why am I been making these up if I can't use them? It's just stuff like that where you the only way you can send a message to these companies, and I see a lot of people like posting Hasbro WTF or FU Hasbro or putting these horrible messages on their posts, and I don't think that's going to get any kind of change happening. The only thing they listen to is money.
Yep.
If you don't like the business practice, do not buy the product, because that, I guarantee you, will speak louder than your hateful words or your strongly worded post.
Yeah. And I think that goes back to like, what's your net worth? Like, we start out with saying there's these collectors, there's just like there's figures, there's all sorts and regions of collectors. Those collectors that they're going to continuously buy and drop epic hauls day after day after day on a consistent basis. And there's those other collectors that are just struggling, living check to check and just barely getting by, and being able to stay within the collection. That's like an escape or an outlet for them and whatnot. And a lot of us fall somewhere in between the middle, where we have just enough to support our hobby, and there's others that are living more comfortably, and we can still support our hobby regardless of what your situation is. And no matter how heavy of an influencer you consider yourself, like at the end of the day, money talks. And that post itself shows that all that matters is how much profit a company is making at the end of the day. So no matter what post or rant or video that you make, or you start harassing, and to me it doesn't make any sense harassing those that work for the company,
No.
because that is just their day job. They're in there trying to support and make, live their life. It has nothing to do with the actual price of the figure.
Yes.
Like it sucks because, and I use the Legends team as an example because I think Ryan and Dan specifically, they do a great job of interacting with the toy community. You see them on live. You see Ryan on Unboxing with Kevin. You see Dan hanging out with Unparallel. Which, Dan, you need new friends. Like, come on to the figure booth. We'll treat you nice. You don't have to put up with Wade and his craziness. But and it's awesome. I've seen Dwight on Toy Migos. Shout out to the Toy Migos. So those three go around and they make their rounds. Like, they show their faces. You don't see many companies taking the time to sit there and put up with some stupid ass questions. I'm sorry, but a lot of us collectors, we ask some stupid ass questions like, why don't you guys use this on this thing? You think they're really going to tell you? No. Like, why don't you do this? Like, come on. They probably have already thought about it, and they've either it didn't make sense, which it meant dollars and cents. They're not going to recast the whole like, if it doesn't make business sense, then they're not going to use it. So a lot of these questions, I'm like, those are silly questions. Come on. Like, work in the corporate world for like a year or two, and then realize there's so much red tape that, one, you don't have a voice, and there's always somebody above you with a bigger paycheck or a longer name on the front of their office, and they're the ones that are calling the shots. So at the end of the day, that's why you see these price hikes. Like, Dan doesn't have no direct correlation with, like, let's price hike it, and he has a vote. There's somebody that he reports to. There's a specific team that's like planning out, okay, we need to make Hasbro more money. And it's like that with every company. It's not just Hasbro. So I think on that sense, no matter how big of an influence you are, that's what we say. Like, money talks. Like, if you don't like the fact that their prices are going up, then just simply don't buy the product. And it sucks. I know that's hard. There's been a ton of stuff dropping. Everything from Mythic Legions to Mezco to Hasbro to Joy Toy. And I'm like, nope, this was my budget. This is my priorities. This is what I want to do. My own personal goals that have nothing to do with collecting. Like, I need to fix up some home projects. I need to go travel some more. I need to, I don't know, buy whatever I need to buy. So if there's no money left over for the latest Warhammer, then sorry, I'm just going to have to live through Mario and wait till he sells them to me for hella cheap. But it's crazy. Like, it's all that balance. It's that balance. So it doesn't make any sense when people just create these crazy ass posts or these rants attacking certain individuals or tagging certain individuals.
That doesn't make change. And just think about it, like, collecting is a community thing, not just for you as a person. Like, oh, this is what I would really want. Well, that might be what other people want too. But to Prime's point, they've got this stuff planned out like 2 years in advance. They know what they're doing. Dan Yun can't just say, like, hey, let's produce this figure and let it happen. I think it's cool. It's awesome that those guys are so involved in the community, because then they can bring that voice back when they have these design meetings or whatever. I don't work there, so I don't know what they do. But the fact that they are trying to stay in touch with the community and at least like a pulse check on what's going on, and going into lives like with Unparalleled Universe where you're just getting these asinine questions or just a lot of disrespect. And it's just, it's one of those things I just want to mute the chat. Like, come on, let's just be respectful of each other. This guy's trying to be a face to the company. But you also said, like, the budget is something we talked about last year, and we've got the budget list on the screen. But it's true. Right now is the time we really should be focusing on sticking to the budget, or if you don't have one, trying to make one at least for the next 3 months. Like, these are things I know I want to buy. These are things. This is how much money I think I have. Let me try to just figure it out mentally. Do I have enough money to pay for what's coming in the door? Just do it on like an Excel sheet. And if you don't, then to Prime's point, start looking at, okay, should I sell some stuff? Maybe I should cancel this pre-order and wait for a sale, that type of thing. And then think about for next year, start building that budget based on what you've spent, because we've had 2 years of like really weird economy. a whole thing. And I think a lot of us are just living our lives like everything's just normal and everything's the same. But inflation is on the rise. It's already taking course. We're not getting stimulus checks from the government anymore. So we're not getting all this extra money that we weren't getting before. And the market continues to get worse. So these next few months are going to be tough.
Yeah.
You know, the next 6 months are probably going to be tough. So just think about that. You know, like your net worth is a personal thing. And if I see a bunch of people with these awesome hauls, I'll be happy for them, but I'm not going to compare myself to them. And if Prime's posting 10 figures and I'm only posting one, it's not like I'm looking at Prime like, man, Prime's he's an awesome dude. He's badass. And Nate is just like,
yeah, you're right.
He's like some basic
bitch
guy, like with one figure a month. Like, what is he doing? Nobody is doing that.
No.
Okay. So don't buy a figure just so you can post that you bought a figure.
Yeah.
Buy a figure because you want it, and it's a positive net worth to you, right?
Yeah. And you know, the crazy part is like a lot of us do. We go on about our lives on the daily grind. There's the price and the cost of inflation. It is going up, and the Feds just raised the rate, which hopefully if you are keeping an ear to just the way money works, like that only means that the cost of goods is going to be even more expensive. You think they really care about the average Joe? Nope. You know, and there's so much information out there where they're like, hey, the consumer will make it out, or the American will just they'll tough it out. They have resilience. It's like they're just pushing the buck down to us, and it's hard because a lot of us, we balance everything outside of this hobby, where all of the other priorities, of course, hopefully most of us take care of those priorities first, whether it's just you yourself and you're paying for your rent and you cover the roof over your head and you're like, hey, I pay for my rent, I have enough to eat and I got gas in my car, boom, then I got some figure money. But if everything starts going up, that figure money is going to start to shrink. So a lot of times it's like just anticipating, there is a daily motivational podcast I listen to, and he says, we bleed in the time of peace, so we sweat in the time of war. So that way, when it's crazy, you're just sweating it. You're not bleeding, because when everything was calm and collective and everyone's just chilling, that's when you're putting in, you're putting in your blood. You're grinding away, or and it reminds me of that. I don't know. It was a cartoon I remember I used to see where like there was like two squirrels. One squirrel was like saving the nuts for winter, and another squirrel was just like chilling. And then once winter came, like his ass froze out there. Like it was one of those dark cartoons, And I'm like, what? And so when I heard that this guy say, in the time of peace we bleed, so in the time of war we sweat. And I'm like, damn, that just resonated with me on a whole different level. And it really got me to think. I'm like, you know what? I should be constantly grinding when everyone thinks it's cool. Like, oh yeah, all these pre-orders. Like, no, so when things get really tight, then I can sit back and, at the end of the day, you want to make sure that your kingdom is built on concrete and not sand.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so well said.
Hey.
And a great quote too. It applies to more than just one thing. You can apply that amongst other things. And, part of what you're talking about is to pre-plan a purchase or pre-plan. These are pre-orders. They have expected dates.
Yeah.
So that stuff's coming. There's a way that you can avoid being surprised by pre-orders because it's coming. So,
and that's a great point, because with the Mezco, I did PayPal, so those are already paid for. That's why I'm just like, come on, man. Like I'm just waiting for my product. That's it. But that's the thing, though, right? Because if I would have not done it that way, and then they hit me up, I'm like, oh, like I just bought all this Hasbro stuff, or I bought I don't know. Again, if I'm doing the pre-order, I have the cash, I'm gonna pay it right now, right then and then, right? Exactly. So now I don't have to worry about it. I can just sit back. That's something that took me a long time to learn. When I was first doing it, I was just like, oh, what's the minimum? Or I'm just pre-ordering whatever. Like, I don't care. As long as I got it. But I've learned that then they all start hitting me up in the same month, and then I was stressing. I'm walking around with a bag of cheeseburgers trying to sell them down the street. Like, you don't want that.
I got these cheeseburgers, man. Yeah. No, it's so true though. And, I think I call it like an emergency fund or something.
Yeah.
Have like money set aside for the unexpected figure. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a lot of money. You know how much figures cost.
Yeah.
But if you had some of that set aside in like a savings account or something else,
Your
then when that,
mattress.
yeah, or under the mattress, or you know, stuffed in your sock somewhere, whatever you prefer to save, you can have that money set aside so that if that random preorder does pop up, you're like, okay, I got $200 in the emergency fund. This is 120.
Yeah.
I can pay for it. Let's do
Boom.
that, and then
Yeah.
start putting maybe $20 a month back in that fund, so that if
Yeah.
something does drop again, you're resupplying it. And I
You
use
know,
that for. Go ahead.
Oh no, say no. This just makes me want to become. I'm just gonna be a Hot Wheel collector. 99 cents.
99 cents,
Boom.
baby, all
I don't
day.
even care. I'm not gonna do treasure hunts on this. I'm not gonna race with these guys early in the morning, be breaking cases. None. I'm just gonna whatever. And that way, I'll
Yeah.
post. I'll be like, I just got 10 Hot Wheels. Look at that, 10 every day.
That's right. And
Be
those
flexing.
Hot Wheel guys, you know, I think there's a lot of them that just stick strictly with Hot Wheel. They stay in
Yeah.
their lane. You know, this is
Yeah.
what I know. This is what I like. I'm not going to try to branch out. And I think that's really smart from a collecting perspective, because then you're not so, you know, tempted by all this stuff. The more you broaden your collection and the different lines you collect, the more
Yeah.
temptation there is out there to continue to add to those lines or to add to that collection.
Yeah.
So, you know, like Prime had said earlier, and we've talked about this so many times, but have a goal for
Yeah.
your collection. What is it that you want to collect, and know about it ahead of time. You know, it happens where you get into a new line, and it's happened to me.
Oh yeah.
But then have kind of an exit strategy. Like, okay, if I'm
Yeah.
going to get into this, I have to get out of something else.
That's what the challenge is, because a lot of us we don't. You know,
Right. We just keep adding.
we add to the list, and it's like, you know, it's almost you're cheating on your wallet. You're having an affair.
Yeah.
And you're adding all these baby mamas to it. Like you got Joy
Right.
Toy, you got Storm Collectibles, you got Mezco, you got Hasbro. Like your wallet's gonna be like, why you got all these kids on the side? What's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's true though, because peer pressure plays a big part into it. You know, like
Yeah.
you've got friends that will tell you. I was going to say, have somebody that maybe you could talk to, like, hey, I really want this. What do you think?
Oh, maybe we should create like a plastic addiction sponsor program.
Hey,
And
there you go.
we can be sponsors. You need to phone a friend? You need to call somebody?
You need
Come
me
to
to
the
be your
Figure booth.
sponsor?
Hey,
Yeah.
come to
Dude,
us. We'll help.
that's
Like
that's not a bad idea.
we're the anti-enablers, huh?
Right. Your
Don't be
enablers
like
are gonna
those
hate that.
guys.
Yeah, right. Collectors Anonymous.
Yeah, Collectors Anonymous.
You know, you stand up, you say, hey, I have a collection addiction.
Yeah.
I have
I
an
break
addiction to action
ankles.
figures. Right. I'm very tempted on this new figure. Okay,
Yeah,
well, how many of the other ones
And then
do
we
you have?
talk you out of it.
Right. How much is it going to cost you? Do you think you have the money for it? Okay, maybe not such a good idea. But if you go and if you go into like a collecting Discord and you don't really know these people, you're going to say, hey, I'm really tempted. What do you guys think? They'll be like, fucking grab it, dude. Get it.
Yeah,
Get it.
everybody tells you to grab
Buy
it.
it.
Every collector is like, buy
Yeah.
it, or else I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it. Or you're gonna be really sad that you didn't buy that. And then
Yeah.
you know, of course, 6 months down the line, it gets reissued.
Yeah,
You've seen that more and more too.
that's
Like,
true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like the reissues. There's really no reason to jump on something on day one if you have some hesitation, because it gets reissued. Even Mezcos get reissued.
Mhm.
We've seen it recently. Or the waitlist will get fulfilled.
Yeah.
So like McFarlane's, I don't collect McFarlane's. One rule I've made for myself is never pay full price for a McFarlane, because I know I don't need to. Because at some point that will go on sale. Yeah, there's the gold label stuff. There's the signature editions. Maybe I won't see those again, but I don't really care about that.
Yeah.
All I care about is getting a good deal.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
You know,
And like that's one rule I've applied with Legends, and you know, with a grain of salt. So for the most part, like if it's not a post exclusive, or it's not like, oh, you can only get it through us, you know, those post exclusives, it's rare for them to go on sale. So if it's not a post exclusive, it's just a regular, like you can find it at Target, Walmart, whatever. I definitely wait until like I see them at $15 or less, and that's when I jump on them. Dorkside has been having these crazy sales, and I picked up a handful of the retro Spidey for like $15. You know, $9.99, like $11.99. It was crazy. I picked up the retro Vision for $11.99. It was
Great
on
deals.
sale. Like, you know, that's what, and I'm like, okay, that's when I'm snagging those Legends, because for me that's my threshold, because I'll hold off, and when I'm waiting for those exclusives, or like the Walgreens exclusive, that Jigsaw, I'm not gonna get them on sale. It's gonna be a good minute. So luckily, he was in restock. I didn't have to pay scalper prices either. I just wait. It's just a waiting game. I may be the last kid on the block, but I try to stick with the budget.
Yeah, at the end of the day, I don't care if I have it last, but if I can say, hey, I got it for $10 cheaper than you did,
yeah,
that makes me feel a little bit better. And I think Hasbro, they reissue stuff all the time.
Yeah.
And give you new versions of stuff that maybe is more sought after.
Yeah. And on that note too, like kudos to them, because they're like aware of like, hey, there's collectors that are coming in every day. They may have missed out on the Pizza Spidey, or they may have missed out on the classics. Let's reissue a new Spidey. Right. And there you go. Your collection's better now than that guy that was flexing with all his different freaking Spideys. Like there's no need for that. And sometimes that is also a win for the new collector, because it makes the older collectors, a seasoned collector, like now their net worth is dropping, because that Sinister Six Spidey from Toy Biz isn't probably worth $100 anymore, unless you're like this really nostalgic collector. You're probably gonna, everyone started throwing up their on the reveals. They're used, like anytime Legends reveals like a new revision Strife, like people were selling Strife the very next day. That day I saw a bunch of Strifes on like Facebook groups and certain posts. Strife was up everywhere, and of course everyone's laughing because it's like, yeah, now nobody wants Strife.
Yeah, it's a horrible time to try to sell it.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
So
yeah, that's a good point, man. And we'd love to hear from you guys too. Like when you're hitting that like button, make sure you do that when you're listening to this. Leave a comment below and tell us what you're struggling with. What's something that might be helpful for somebody else? Is there something that we said that resonates with you? This is one of those things, to Prime's point, like if you need a sponsor, talk to us. We're happy to bring those topics into the discussion in further episodes.
Yep.
Because you get a lot of the same stuff where everybody's like, buy, but the reality is not everybody's equal as far as their current
net worth,
or what they have available. So you trying to push somebody that's a friend that's really having a hard time, maybe putting them in a bad spot. So just, think about that. Don't push somebody if they're like, I don't know. The worst thing is like con season, and it happens all the time. Yeah, New York Comic Con, you're at Designer Con, you're at Legion's Con, and you're like, nah, I don't really want that. And your friend's like, that is fire. You need to buy that right now. Okay. Yeah. An hour later, I've got 2 bags that are just really heavy. My credit card's taking a huge hit. And then I get back to my hotel room, I'm like, man, there's 2 out of these 10 things that I really feel strongly about. And the others aren't nearly as valuable. And, to what was Prime saying about reissues, I think a lot of people traditionally might hold on to things because they have value. Like, I'm going to hold on to this because it's worth something. And then the reissue happens and that value drops like a rock, and now you're stuck with it. So for me, I'm trying to like think about it. I don't care how much this is valued. Like I could get good money for it now. And if I can, I should take that.
Yeah.
Because the longer I hold on to it, the more of a chance that it's probably going to drop. It's not like the old days where nostalgia creates value. I think there is some of that going on if you find the right person. But I feel like as time has gone on and more people have gotten into collecting, that is a bit more rare, that you're finding things that you can hold on to and really gain the value from it. Mafex did a really good example of that, where they reissued the classic Spidey and they reissued the Hush Superman. And I saw a lot of people were like, F Mafex.
Yeah.
My Hush Superman's dropped from 250 to 100. Like, that's on you, man. You kept that for too long. And if you thought that you were going to sell it, you should have sold it.
Yeah.
That's not Mafex's fault. They're trying to make money too, and they know it's valuable.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff like that. If you're going to sell, just sell it and be willing to take, whatever it's worth right now. To be greedy and to ask for more than what it's worth, you're going to have a really hard time selling that thing. And if you really just need the money, just let it go. You'll be happier for it, and your collection will be a little less.
Yeah. Which I can't wait to start selling my stuff.
Keep an eye on Prime's page,
coming through.
I think he's really going to do it this time.
I'm going to do it.
I think he's going to do it. And I've talked about it too.
I got to sort all my accessories, but I'm going to do it.
Yeah, I've talked about it too, even though we kind of said that we were talking about this earlier. Like, is right now the best time to be selling? Probably not.
Yeah.
Because of the things we're talking about.
Yeah.
But there might be somebody that buys one or two things that I'm trying to sell. And for me, I'm trying to downside that. I've been doing that for a long time. I think I waited too long. But yeah, if you need to sell, just start selling.
I'm going to just sell like crazy because I got bins, and bins of like legends
Stacks
and just
stacks.
And I'm like, I want to get rid of all this stuff just so I can make room for new stuff and kind of just condense my collection. It's just, I have so much that I feel like I'm not giving it as much value. So I'd rather have it go to a collector that can really like, hey, I needed this for my collection. Fantastic.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like that's all I care about. I don't care. I just want it out of my sight. So yeah.
That's another thing. If there's something that Prime has that you know he has, now's a good time to be asking him if he wants to let go of it because he's probably a bit more willing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope you guys are all doing well. I know it's tough times. Hopefully this is somewhat helpful. And like we said, leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys are experiencing or what you're going through or your thoughts on the whole Hasbro thing. We'd love to hear from you.
Awesome.
Before we go into next stuff, just a couple of updates about the show. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Over the next few months, and we said this in our most recent live that we did. We did a Sunday special. If you missed that, go check it out. Kind of talked about the con exclusives. Got some really good feedback from the chat. Thanks to everybody that joined us.
Mm-hmm.
But in that episode, we talked about how over the holiday season between October, November, December, the figure booth might be a little less frequent, a bit more sporadic as far as when we do lives, when we do new episodes, because in reality, our personal lives are getting busier.
Yeah.
We're going into a busier time with vacations and family coming into town and the holidays happening. And, the reality is it's hard to sustain a podcast every single week. So we might be a bit more sporadic. We're working to get back to being more consistent. Just giving you guys a heads up. Don't bite our heads off. Don't put hateful comments on our posts. We're telling you ahead of time that it is going to be a bit more sporadic.
And the even the better reason is we're doing some brainstorming sessions because hopefully the plan is once things kind of settle, holidays are over, the craziness is done behind, new year, new me. A lot of times resolutions. New year, new Prime, new year, new Nate, new figure booth. We've talked about it a little bit on our live. We want to update the song, make sure it's all legit so we can hit our goal of 1,000, 5,000, I don't know what you guys help us get there, but we want to be able to get a new jingle so we can not have to deal with these copyright freaking alerts on the jingle, but still keep the same lyrics, just new beat. So we're working with that and just more content. We got a couple ideas cooking in the oven, along with the lives and along with the interviews, but just our twist and our take on something else additional to offer to you guys.
Right. How can we switch this up a bit? How can we continue to give you guys new and interesting content?
Some additional appetizers.
Yeah, so you can relax and get loose.
That's right.
Get up on game with the figure booth.
Oh, I like it.
Even though we're talking about being conservative with your spending, let's go right into pre-orders. What is new out there? There's been quite a few drops. We're in the middle of New York Comic-Con season. Been seeing some people post.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always jealous when I see a convention going on that I'm not a part of.
I want to hit up all the conventions.
That would be great to go to a convention, like every single convention in 1 year.
Yeah.
I think by the end of it, I'd be like, screw this. I'm not going to this. I'm tired of it. But it is a fun experience. If you haven't gone to a convention, you should really go to one of the bigger ones. It's not just about the figures. It's about the community and hanging out with friends. That's one of the reasons why I do it.
Yeah.
Anyways, a new figure that NECA showed off, continuing their Universal Monsters Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles line. Ultimate Donatello as the Invisible Man.
That looks cool.
I gotta say, this is probably one of the most intriguing ones for me in this line.
Yeah.
I've been very tempted with these figures. I still haven't actually pulled the trigger on any of them, but I keep telling myself if I see them go on sale, I'm going to get some. I just love the turtles so much and the Universal Monsters. But I really like this Donatello. I think the thing I like the most is this clear shell.
That's cool.
It's just a really cool idea.
That Mikey looks really good. I saw Mikey in store, and I was tempted to pick him up.
Yeah, the Mummy. Yeah, and distribution. Kudos to NECA, man.
Yeah.
The distribution's been so good. I've been seeing so much new stuff.
Oh, that's so cool! Translucent legs and hands.
Translucent legs and hands to go along with the shell, and then you can see he comes with an alternate head where you can only really see his eyes. Really cool idea. And then he comes with like the goggles so he can cover and try to hide that he's invisible. He's got some gloves here. Really cool release. I really like this one a lot. Here's another additional head.
Is he flipping off the camera?
It looks like he might be flipping off someone.
He's flipping off Gomez.
He's got some messy hair, he's trying to contain. I think that's hair. But yeah, that's an interesting.
Wouldn't his hair be invisible?
Yeah, I was just
so everything but his hair is invisible?
And Donatello doesn't have hair. He's a turtle.
Is he the Invisible Man as the turtle, or is he the turtle as the Invisible Man?
I feel like
regardless. Wouldn't his hair be invisible? Turtle. So if he was to be like, take off the bandages and you just see a floating hair?
It's a floating hairpiece.
Or maybe is it just a hairpiece? Because
I don't know.
One, he's a turtle, doesn't have hair. But if he does have hair, wouldn't it be invisible? Unless he just wears a toupee. So then what's the point of being invisible if you just see a floating?
No, let us know. Are we wrong here? Let us know in the comments. What's going on with the hair here on Donatello? First of all, he's a turtle. Secondly, to Prime's point, his hair should be invisible with the rest of his body. So why are we seeing it?
Yeah.
Is that dirt or something? I don't know. But it is a really cool release. I'm glad that Donatello.
Cool if they would have made his eyes almost translucent, so like you can shine almost like the Super 7 does. You could if you would have shined light through him.
Oh yeah. That's really a cool idea, actually. I like that a lot.
Then
that would have made a lot more sense than the messy hair.
Yeah, they should have just done like some strips, like clear. You just shine the light through it. His eyes would have lit up. Idea. Yeah,
I love that idea.
Heard it here first, folks.
Yeah,
I don't know. Do whatever you want with it.
Prime, can you like make figures or something?
No, I can't.
On top of your dials.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool accessories. The hat. The book, I like the microscope.
Oh yeah,
I kind of want to get it just for the microscope now.
Yeah,
and then the translucent pieces.
What's that like? A little cup? Is that a cup?
Oh yeah, probably like a beaker. I would imagine.
Oh, okay.
Because he's
collecting samples.
Yeah, right. He's trying to reverse his invisibility.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, matches the prices of the rest. Really cool release. I like this one a lot. Speaking of HasLab and Hasbro. Hasbro showed off a new tier to their Engine of Vengeance, which is slowly dying a painful death.
Man,
it's dropped like a rock. It continues to drop. But if you're into Ghost Rider, you might be really happy with this release. We've got Madeline Pryor, who, from what I remember, is a copy of Jean Grey, right?
Yeah, she's the Black Queen,
Queen,
or the Goblin Queen, or.
The main feedback I've seen is people are unhappy that there is no cut in the clothing right here.
Yeah, they're more unhappy about the cleavage not being comic accurate.
Right, which is a family-friendly company.
Yeah,
they're not going to show boobs off. They just don't do that. They never have. They never will.
Yeah.
So you get what you get. If that makes you that unhappy, hire a customizer.
Yeah.
Like Customs by Machu. To make it the way that you want it.
An official one.
Yeah, exactly. You can get people out there to make it the way you want.
Yeah.
But at least you're getting the base figure. Right.
Yeah.
And then Mephisto. But it's funny, this one, Mephisto was the first one at 12,000.
And then the other one's at 10?
This is a desperate attempt to get more backers. Like, please just give us 10. Because that means we fund. But, yeah, unless I was getting all the tiers, I wouldn't want to do it.
Yeah.
And then they included, I don't know if we talked about this, but the Robbie Reyes head.
Yeah, they gave you the head.
They gave it back. I think they've noticed a lot of people were probably pretty pissed that they missed out on that. Yeah. Did that do anything for you, Madeline Pryor?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
Nada.
I didn't think so.
No.
Transformers Earth Spark. I don't know anything about these, but these are new.
It's a new show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Terran Twitch, Megatron, Bumblebee. You got a whole crew here. I just don't know really anything about this. I know you're kind of a Transformers guy. Is this doing anything?
Yeah, the legacy stuff has really been calling me lately, and even I've been wanting to go back to collecting just some specific. They've been also releasing like some Transformers from the '85 movie.
Nice.
So like like on my list, there's a couple. Like for some reason, like Ironhide, they had released Ironhide a while back. And I think he sold out pretty quickly. But the original G1 Ironhide, he transformed, but he transformed funky. It wasn't nothing to like the way the show showed him. So I never liked the G1 version. But then they did this reissue, like they did this different version, and he looked like the way he did in the cartoon. And why that he's on my list, and like Perceptor. I don't know, for some reason Perceptor is the one that turns into the microscope.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I have Blaster and I have a Soundwave. You know, just some of those are kind of my go-to. But it's just hard. I try not to take a dive into Transformers because I'm like, I'm gonna go, you know, too hard on them, and I have to get them like the core. So I'm like, I'll just stick with just Prime and Megatron, and then just scale it back.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's one of those things
the
that
Transformers team is dropping some cool stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool that they keep giving the line, because I know there's a huge Transformers community out there that eats this stuff up. So it's good to see that they still pay a lot of attention to it.
Yeah, I love they're blending like the new stuff, and then they pay a lot of homage to like the old classic stuff. The G1 stuff, they're doing it like, you know, they're adding their modern, where it's making it looks just like the way they did in the movie or in the TV show. And, like they transform the same way. So I do love that. Even though I never would transform them, it's just I would either keep him in robot mode or he's a truck all the time. You know,
I'd be too afraid to break it. You know,
I'm going to bend this the wrong way, and I forget. Yeah.
And that it just seems like a lot of extra work, you know. Somebody was like one of those masterpiece ones. It took them like 3 hours to transform it because they were just so worried about breaking it.
Yeah, that's too much. Yeah, that's too much work.
Going into new pre-order, Mezco. We talked about this briefly. Local 112, Union Gomez. Definitely a cool, unique release. But
it was.
To Prime's point, I'm good on getting additional Gomez's.
Yeah,
I like
the accessories.
I really like the accessories. I love how they made the boombox like a toolbox or a lunch pail or something. I really like the sledgehammer, which, from what I heard, is actual real metal on the top. The worker's belt, the clothes.
Yeah, give
really
me everything
cool.
But the Gomez.
Give me everything but the figure. Make this an accessory set for like $30. I'll take it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I think me and Prime pretty clear. We both skipped this one. Yep. You know, it's not that we don't like it. It's just, it's not part of my net worth right now.
Yeah. The gloves are cool too. It's just, and the thing with the Gomez is like the neck, it's all roachy. Like it's hard to use. You got to get other neck. Like, I don't want to deal with that.
Unless you want to paint that. Yeah. It's hard to like put a human head on there because it just doesn't match.
You always have to have a scarf.
Right. Yep. And then other stuff they released, which is pretty interesting. They did like this PSCC mask. Vinyl mask, Doc Nocturnal mask, which looks like just a regular skeleton, PSCC hoodie, and Doc Nocturnal hoodie.
Yeah, they're dropping like merch now.
Yeah, and the hoodies are like $50, which I guess is pretty normal price. But it seems a little elevated from what I've seen.
Is it 50 and then shipping? Like shipping's $20, so it's like
the shipping
$70 for a hoodie. Hells no.
Shipping is where they get you, and then the masks are actually pretty decently priced at $20 each. And I like how this one has an articulated jaw. That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool. The shipping wasn't so high.
Yeah. And then to end the pre-orders, McFarlane, if you didn't know, they're starting to revamp the DC Direct line, the BTAS figures. These are actually the classic BTAS figures, so I think these are in scale with the old ones.
Oh, wow.
One thing that's really cool about this is a 4-pack that includes some of the more common ones.
Yeah.
You know, you got Batman, Harley, and Joker, but the guy that's really hard to find is Bullock.
Oh, really?
He is extremely hard to find. He only came in another, I think, 2-pack release, and they never released him again.
Oh, well, that's cool.
So I think that's part of why they included him in this, just to kind of give people a bit more incentive to get it.
Because I think it would have made more sense to include either Robin or Gordon, right?
Right.
But Bullock, if he's hard and people, you know, I almost jumped on this, but then I was like, it's Toddy Mac. How big are they? Like, I don't know.
I think these are just recreations of the old line. I hope that's the case.
Yeah.
Because all these figures were already released. If they're 7 inches, I'm gonna riot because that's just you're killing.
Does it say on the description?
This is Walmart, so I don't know. I don't think so.
Oh.
Their website's usually pretty terrible. 6-inch scale.
That's all it says, huh?
That's all it says. So not very much.
No.
Not very descriptive like BBTS that has the actual measurements.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I saw some pictures.
Cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
If I can get the Bullock, I'll get it. But I don't need all
I just want that. I just want the Joker. Joker and bats.
I got the Joker.
We'll get the pack and we'll split it.
There you go. Hey, actually, that's not a bad idea because I need Harley and Bullock. If you want Joker and bats, we could just split it because I've got Joker and bats. We should do that.
Ding.
Ding.
Sorry here, guys. Deals coming through. Deals happening on the figure booth.
That's how we stop spending extra money.
Split the packs.
All right, moving right into our plastic confessions. I think you gave us a sneak peek of what you got, but what is that back there?
Just one this week. Fire Lord.
Nice.
Snagged him on a Dorkside sale. And perfect timing because my Galactus should be getting here. Shipping.
Nice.
Got the notification to make sure my address is correct from Hasbro. So another Herald to go with my Galactus. And yeah, I was a huge fan of Fire Lord when, especially Silver Surfer cartoon and then the Toy Biz 5-inch figure. So I'm excited to have them in my collection. Can't wait to.
Yeah, really smart too because you have Galactus coming, and like you talked about, you want the Heralds, and you're getting right 2 or 3 Heralds in the set, right?
Yeah, Silver Surfer, the chick.
So you're gonna have like a full team by the time you get it.
The only ones I ever knew was Silver Surfer and Fire Lord. So.
Yeah, they got that new Terrax, which I know is very desirable, which will be coming in Galactus.
Yeah.
That's cool. I think it's a good get, and you got it on sale.
Yep.
I did not get this on sale, but I was happy that I didn't buy the Mezco because the next day this dropped from Four Horsemen Studios.
Damn, I am jealous.
This thing is huge. Look how big this is.
That's awesome. That looks freaking epic. Yeah.
Yeah, the Headless Horseman from Mythic Legions.
You got that quick.
It came really quick. Yeah, this one on sale last week.
Yeah.
And I've already got it in my hands.
That's awesome.
So really cool that they did that. Such a quick turnaround. It's a breath of fresh air because a lot of companies have not been doing that lately. We've been waiting and waiting. I cannot wait to break into this. It's just arrived recently. Huge shout out to Bill from the Dork Lair who got an exclusive review. He's seeing some great success from that. I hope that continues because Bill's one of the main reasons why him and 1/6 Shooter are probably the 2 main reasons why I got into it.
Yeah.
Thanks to you guys. And another kind of plastic confession. I guess this is plastic.
Yeah.
But our good friend Sid Vicious Toys, who is an awesome dude, Chris, he messaged me earlier this week, it was earlier this week. This actually came really quick. He said, "Hey, I want to send you and Prime something." Gave me a little sneak peek.
Yeah.
But he sent them, and he didn't send one. He sent quite a few, but let's see if you guys can see it.
What? Look at that. Figure booth toasters.
Toasters, baby.
We're in business now.
If you listen to any of our interviews, we always promise a toaster, and now we can fulfill that promise.
Yes.
We will give you a Figure Booth branded toaster. It's amazing.
My goodness.
He 3D printed these, and he sent us a bunch of them.
That is freaking epic. Thank you, my dude. Man, he is an A in my book.
Yeah, dude, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me in Prime. I'm going to make sure he gets half of what you sent me. He's going to paint them up too, so he's got way more skills. I've got some Sharpies on breakout, but I don't want to ruin.
We can have our guest pick. Do you want a Sharpie painted one, or do you want a Prime painted one?
I'm going to have a stack of Sharpie painted ones. Nobody's going to want those. So that's my plastic confessions for the week. Thanks again, Sid Vicious Toys. You're an amazing dude.
Yes.
All right. Nasty Nate's Dirty Trick for the week. This is one I learned a hard lesson on when I was on vacation. And it's always make sure you've got the shot. And the shot is the way that you want. As you guys know, I went to Iceland. I took some figures with me. I was hoping to get more than just the one shot that I posted. I actually did take another shot. I'm taking it. I've got the figure posed up. I think I was just so trying to get the shot. I was quickly doing it. I had it posed. I'm thinking to myself, I got it. I looked briefly in the camera lens. I'm like, okay, I think I got this. We left. We drove somewhere else. I was completely gone. No way I can get back there.
Yeah.
It's my one time I'm going to get there.
Yeah.
Lay down for the night, pull the picture off the camera. First thing I notice is that his leg is like twisted completely the wrong way. It's like backwards.
Yeah.
I don't know how I didn't notice that. It's like just it's so off. It's one of those things that if I sent it to Prime, he would have identified it immediately. He'd like, nah, that doesn't look right. And that to me, from a toy photo perspective, when I notice that posing is off, I can't unsee it. It's something that I just continue to stare at and focus on. I'm like, oh, that looks off. I don't like it. So if anything, if you have a camera that lets you pull off over Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, just check it out on your phone. Just make sure it looks all right before you leave, because I was really upset with myself that I didn't do that when I had the chance. And it's one of those places I'll never be able to go again, or at least anytime soon. So it's a wasted effort. I spent a lot of time trying to get that. So it just sucks. So if anything, to avoid that, double check that you have the shot before you move on. And that goes with setups too. I'll leave a setup for a while just to make sure, 100% sure I've got it.
Yeah.
Because it's very frustrating when you don't, and you know that you can't recreate that.
It's like the saying, measure twice, cut once. Come on.
Exactly. Man. Right? That
look
actually
twice,
applies.
Shoot once.
Yeah, look twice, shoot once. Yes, because you will regret it if you don't. And last but certainly not least, our figure aficionado for the week.
Hey,
I wanted to recognize somebody in the community that's been doing a lot for October. If you guys remember, October is kind of like the reoccurring holiday for the figure community where everybody tries to post once per day. I was on a good run where I was doing 5, and then I'm going to miss the next 2. So it happens. I can't keep it up every single day. But let's not delay any longer. Who is it that we've got here? We've got Pancheesy. He's actually recently on Toying Around. He did an unboxing Thursday with Kevin. If you want to know more about him, go check that out. It was a great episode. I caught the replay because I wasn't on the live. But Pangeezy is like a really cool dude. He's involved in ACBA. He's been a part of the podcast. I think you can see it right here as ACBA podcast producer. So you probably heard his voice before, or at least seen him. And
or at
on
least
top
heard
of that,
an impression from Mario of Pancheesy. Awesome.
Oh, yeah?
Dude. Yeah, Mario does a great Pancheesy impersonation.
Is it Pancheesy? Am I saying it wrong? Pancheesy?
Pancheesy?
It's probably Pancheesy. No, I think you're right.
We can
it's probably Pancheesy.
I can say Pancheesy. Is it like tomato?
I'm doing the American thing. Pancheesy? Yeah. No, it's Pancheesy.
Pancheesy. We'll see.
I've got a friend that lives in the UK. He's like, you're doing your American thing. Stop saying it like that. It's wrong. But yeah, not only is he an avid member of ACBA, he's also a really awesome toy photographer.
Yep.
He has not missed a day. He's been posting some heat. This is the Redemption Day. It's a cool post. It's about like Andrew Garfield Spider-Man going to Gwen Stacy's grave saying, hey, I caught her.
Yeah.
He's talking about in No Way Home, MJ. Yeah. He's just basically saying,
multiverse.
Yeah, I got redemption. I caught her,
Yeah.
because he always felt so bad. And then, he did this cool tribute post, which is Gohan making a costume that's like Piccolo, which is his second dad, kind of. If you watch the show, Piccolo is a big part of his training. So that's a really cool idea. This is the Mad Props Day, just shoving as many props as you can into the shot. Cool. Really, really cool idea. I love how he's got this garage going on with Bulma. Makes a lot of sense with the character. He's got another DBZ. You can see this guy loves DBZ. This was the girl from Turning Red.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was.
Yeah, this is like a curious combinations post. So combining two things that don't really make a whole lot of sense into one.
And it kind of does.
Yeah, it kind of does make a lot of sense, especially with her rolling her sleeves up with all these guys in fighting poses.
That's freaking epic.
Yeah, and they did this Harley one. Shout out to High School Creations. This is a High School Creations dial back here.
Awesome.
Which, wow, really cool.
Mike.
Yeah, Mike, he posted some stuff about that Epic City dial. Holy shit, that's blowing my mind.
Yeah.
It's epic, dude. But yeah, just shout out to you, Pancheesy. And for anybody that's not aware of what the themes are, he did post them on his page. You can see all the different daily themes here. So if you want to try to plan a shot, obviously it's hard to get every one of them. I was like, oh, I can do it. And then day 6 rolled around. I'm like, nope, I'm not doing it. I ran out of time. But if you guys want to get involved, it's open to everyone. It doesn't matter how much toy photography experience you have. Just take a shot, post it, join in on the fun. They're actually even doing a giveaway at some point. I think after the month. And it goes all month long. It's just a way to celebrate photography, toy photographers, and just toys in general. So jump in there and have some fun. I've been really, really enjoying it. It's pushed me to shoot a lot more. And it's kind of nice having a theme that I can kind of center things around, because then I don't have to think about it all myself.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah. Shout out to you, PGC. Thanks for all the work you did to organize
Yeah.
that, man. But yeah, we did it, man. We got through another episode. It's great.
Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, which I know you did, let us know. What was your favorite part? What resonated with you? Leave us your thoughts, comments, pass and spread the word. We want to hit 1,000 milestones, and hopefully we can get to 10K. But
yeah.
We need your help. Help us get there.
Please spread the word. Subscribe to the Figure Booth if you're not already. Hit the like button. If you're listening to this, it's a simple gesture. It goes a long way. Just hit the like button. Leave a comment if you're watching. If you have something to say about what we talked about earlier. Yep. If you want to support us, check out thefigurebooth.com. You can get t-shirts, lots of different t-shirts. Mm-hmm. You can support Prime at prime-arcade.com. Get one of his awesome arcades. Like Prime talked about, he's got that new Iron Man coming, which reminds me of Marvel vs. Capcom. Get yourself a Marvel vs. Capcom arcade with Iron Man next to it. How cool is that?
Makes sense.
And if you missed out on his budget dios, he's got those on his site. So you can get those as well. He's hard working at getting those out. So if you order Wave 2, you can expect those pretty soon.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Prime, where can they find you?
They can find me and follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all under Prime to the First.
And you can find me at figurefan_Nate on Instagram, Vero, and TikTok and Facebook occasionally. But thank you guys for
the little small disclosures. And
right, just very
Monday through Friday, 6 to 7.
Maybe once a month. Yeah. But yeah, thank you guys for listening. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.